Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another segment of the Volpe Bazzo Report. I'm your host, Anthony Bazzo. You can call me Andy. Now, Dominic is sipping a pina colada somewhere because you know he's a member of the 1%. But we do have guest hosts tonight. Our continued and my friend and my continued political consultant, Darren Rigger. He's also a Peaksville councilman, but it is not germane to this. He's here as a political consultant because he's the second smartest person I know when I'm not in the room. And our other co-host tonight is George Ondek, who you all know from the George Ondek Show. Famous man, a legend in his own mind.
Infamous.
Wait a second. When you introduced Mr. Rigger, you said, my friend. Aren't I your friend? Didn't I?
You are the best friend money can
Didn't
buy.
I help you organize
Yes, you
the
did.
taxi
You're the best friend
revolt
money
in
can buy,
Peekskill?
yes. But this show is important because this is the show that will be airing before people vote on November 6th. Now, the people should understand this. Republicans vote on November 6th. Democrats vote on November 7th.
And in Cook County, Chicago, right, they vote early and often.
Now, I want to start this show off because we're going to try to give you guys some insight into how we think and how the races are going to shape up. And the first thing I want you to know, you're all going to be disappointed, but Darren Rigger told me off the air he has to vote for Romney because he found out that Barack Obama fathered two girls in Chicago by a woman named Michelle.
Two black children.
I didn't know that.
Shocking.
It is. But Darren, I want you to start off because everybody knows how I feel.
Should I say what I think, or
by the way, that is totally untrue.
Should I say what I think, or should I say what Dominic Volpe would say?
No, I want you to. No,
am I Dominic or
no? No, you're Darren. He's George. Dominic is having a pina colada with the other 1%ers. But I want, because people already know my take on the elections.
I love it.
I do write for the Yorktown News, the Somers Record, and the Mayapack News, so my stuff is out there.
So this show is going to air right before the election. So we are right now 2 weeks out until election day.
We are taping now on October 24th. Mm-hmm. This show will air October 31st.
And at this point, I would say the Democrats are going to do very, very well on Election Day, especially here in New York. I think you're going to see a Democratic sweep, not only in the region, but the entire state. Obama, obviously, is going to win the state of New York. Kirsten Gillibrand, obviously, going to win the state of New York. And locally, you're going to see our Congresswoman, Nita Lowey, get reelected.
Now, also, but don't forget, we have state elections, and I am, George, I want you to jump in 1 second. Because we have Sandy Gala for the Assembly and Kim Izzarelli. Is that her name?
I'm not sure what her name is. I know that Sandy's running for re-election.
I haven't seen Kim Izzarelli.
I haven't seen anything from her opponent.
And then you have for the state senator Justin Wagner and Greg Ball. And because of redistricting, this was not good for Greg Ball. Justin Wagner has a real good shot to actually win it. Am I correct?
Yeah, no, they added a lot of Democrats. They added areas like Chappaqua to the district. They took away some of his more conservative areas up in Dutchess County. So I think that if there's ever a time that Greg Ball will lose the election, it'll be a year like this. And because the national politics above it. So with Obama on the ballot and with Kirsten Gillibrand on the ballot, you'll see a lot of Democrats turn out.
Hey, George, what's your overview of the election right now? Just an overview at the moment.
We'll
go into issue like he just gave.
An overview of the election.
Yeah, how do you see this turning out?
I want to respond to what you said in the Yorktown.
Not yet.
Okay.
I want people to know your overview of the election first. Who do you think is going to be president? Who do you think is going to win the Senate, Congress? And then
first, I have to tell you I'm a registered Republican.
Doesn't matter.
And in the past, I've been a registered Democrat. And I'm sort of in the middle. I go for the best person, no matter what party.
Everybody says that it's irrelevant.
But I'm going to tell you.
I want to know.
A month and a half ago, when I was on your show as a guest, you tried to nail me. Well, I've done a further analysis into this election.
I want to know your overview
of
the election that people. Who do you think is going to win the presidency? Who do you think is going to win the United States
Senate?
And
I always vote for the best person. It just so happens that they're almost always a Democrat.
And I want you to ask me the reasons why as
well.
We
will get into
Bazzo.
Reasons when we discuss this, but first we get the overview.
This may come to as a big surprise to you, but I'm a registered Republican. But I firmly believe President Barack Obama will be given 4 more years by the public, and not by, what did you say, Mr. Romney would win by?
And what did you say, New York, right? You said Obama's going to win New York.
I agree with Mr. Rigger, at least a 2-1 margin.
Okay, now do
in New
you
York.
think that Sandy Galiff wins her Senate seat?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Do you think Justin Wagner will beat Greg Ball?
No, I do not. I differ with Mr. Rigger there.
Okay.
Because there is...
I think it's going to be a close race, though.
Now,
Tight.
does
Tight race.
Joe Carvin beat Nita Lowy?
No way.
Okay, so now we got the overview of these races.
Now we get to hear Andy's opinion.
Now we're going to get into
Okay. And we want to debate you on your
You're
opinion.
going to have more than your chance.
Okay.
I've listened to you guys expound your overview, and we're going to get into the reasons why, mainly because the Democrats have successfully appealed to the idiot vote.
Oh, that's terrible.
And no, doing that, no smart person can look at $4 a gallon and say, "Give me 4 more years of $4, maybe even 5." That the new normal is almost 8% unemployment. So we're going to say, "Oh, give us 23 more million people unemployed, and let's keep these houses underwater where the banks don't loan, and let's raise the taxes because of the Obamacare taxes next year that kick in. Let's raise taxes on every income tax bracket, not just the people making $250,000, which is not favorable for New York, but." Be that as it may, Obamacare raises taxes on every income level. And we want 4 more years of this, and you actually believe that there's enough fools out there to actually say, yeah, I want 4 more years of this.
So you think Romney is going to win the state of New York?
I not only believe he's going to win the presidency with over 300 electoral votes.
What about New York?
Well, because 300 electoral votes means he gets New York. I also believe he gets New Jersey now.
And Kirsten Gillibrand.
Kirsten Gillibrand loses because Romney takes New York. People will not split the ticket. Doesn't matter that they don't know Wendy Long. When she ran in the primary, everybody said it was Turner. Nobody knew who Wendy Long was. Nobody gave a damn who Wendy Long was. But she won the primary over Turner.
Nita Lowy?
Nita Lowy will probably win like Nan Hayworth. The congressional seats will stay the same.
You think Nan Hayworth will win?
Oh, absolutely. She was voted to do a specific thing. Stop Obama. When the people voted,
Is she for unions? Is she for union workers?
She won without it.
Is she for the veterans? Did she say she would?
This is not that election.
This
is not a social election.
No, this is the congressional election.
This is purely an economic election. Purely economics.
Right.
All your social issues are irrelevant in this election.
You're still talking to Mr. Rigger.
I'm talking to you too. You're talking issues that are not relevant. But
not relevant? She's a congresswoman.
But they're not why people are voting this election.
They are.
This election is strictly money. Okay. That's what it is.
You want to respond to
that? I gave Obama. The 45% I gave Obama are the people that are the stupid people that are going to think this is not an economic. Yes, anybody that thinks that makes a vote.
Well, let me ask you a few questions.
Is an idiot.
Let me ask you a few questions, Mr. Bazzo. Should we vote for a person who parks his money in the Cayman Islands, who doesn't want to bail out General Motors, who thinks the middle class is $200,000 to $250,000? Do you make $250,000, Mr. Bazzo?
I would if people didn't keep putting out competition against me. Okay, now that hold on. We don't want people to lose track of what you've asked me.
Yes.
Okay. So you've asked me the general Democrat talking points.
No, the general
those are the Democrat talking points.
Not Democrat.
Now,
that's
number one, putting money in the Cayman Islands. Yes. I think you would find that not only does your president's retirement plan have money in the Cayman Islands.
Very little.
Doesn't matter. It's not a matter of amount. It is the fact that now most of your congressmen people have their pensions parked in the Cayman Islands too. This is not a
Most of the Republican ones.
No. Actually, the richest people in Congress are Democrats.
Oh, those no.
Yes, that's a fact, and even Darren has to acknowledge that.
I don't know if that's true or not.
No, it is. The Forbes magazine listed them.
Why would someone's pension be parked in the Cayman Islands?
Because they're investments. These are blind investments.
Blind. No, he just turned that over as a blind investment when he started running.
No,
Yeah, most people have regular pensions or
doesn't
IRAs or 401ks,
and they leave it up to professionals.
Well, but
where
yeah,
to
the
put the
professionals
money.
are like Merrill Lynch or Morgan Stanley, and
But
they invest
everybody
them in
parks
stocks
their
and
money
bonds.
somewhere where they
No,
very
all of us
normal
average
citizens
taxpayers
have
park
bank
our
accounts in
money
the
right
Cayman Islands.
here.
No, you park your money here because you don't have enough to save
Thank you.
taxes.
Well, and also
Thank
we
you.
don't have fancy accountants that can tell us how to dodge taxes
Right,
by putting it into the
right.
Cayman
And
Islands.
should the president-
No. If you had a fairer tax program, people would not be leaving their money in the Caymans.
Or if we close tax loopholes that allow the rich
Right.
to dodge taxes by parking their money in the Cayman
who
Islands.
put the loopholes in?
Well, I would have to say probably a Republican Congress.
I would say that's not, well, actually both.
Andy, actually, you know what?
Both parties are guilty of, because I will tell you why. This is why I said
want to
you're
respond to some of the things you
richest
said,
members
mister.
in Congress are Democrats. They tax income, not wealth. If Congress taxed wealth, if you really thought they were going to close that loophole in the Caymans, they would be punishing themselves. They are not going to pass a law that punishes themselves. This is both parties. This is not a Democrat-Republican thing.
Here's the problem I have with the entire overall premise of the way you see the outcome of the election as opposed to, I think, the way I see the outcome of the election, which is while the economy and jobs and unemployment and economic issues are important, if you have a candidate like Mitt Romney, and here's the problem that he's having, I think, and it's if you were a musician and you play beautiful music and I ask you to buy my CD, and I play music for you and you like my music, and as I'm walking out of the cafe, I slap you across the face, and then I walk out of the cafe. Even though you liked my music, you're probably not inclined to buy my CD
Unless you're
because now you
S&M.
felt offended because I slapped you.
Unless you're into S&M.
Mitt Romney is doing the same thing politically, where he looks at a group of people and he gives them a nice song about the economy and about taxes are too high and gas prices are too high and unemployment's too high. And then on the way out, he slaps them by saying something that's a domestic issue that viscerally offends people, whether it's women's rights, gay rights, the rights of new immigrants. When you come out and you tell gay Americans, hey, I want to treat you like a second-class citizen, but I think you should vote for me because I've got good economic
How
issues.
about the way he treats
They are
women?
not responding to him, and that's why minorities, Hispanics, blacks, college students, senior citizens, he is losing demographic groups of people who ordinarily might be voting on economic issues, but the man is offensive with his
I will
socialism.
tell you exactly how the
And
numbers
that's why women are running away from his
I'm
candidacy.
going to tell you how the numbers break out. Obama will get the minority vote. He will get the women's vote.
But the Hispanic vote might determine the outcome of the election. That's not an easy thing to say.
I'm trying. Let me understand.
You know what?
Let me explain.
Let me interject here. I'm not getting to talk. Wait a second.
You gave me 3 points, and I've already.
I want to respond to your 3 points.
I didn't answer your 3 points.
You made a statement that gas is $4 a gallon, and that's why Mr. Obama will lose. If he could control the price of gas, it would be $2 a gallon.
No, he purposely
He
wanted
can't control
$5
the
a gallon. His
price.
own
No, he
Secretary of Interior.
That was Bush. Bush and the Texas Bush oil.
George,
minister.
listen to me now.
And why did he reject
George
and Papa Bush, by the way?
George,
he didn't even
stop
let
with the
them come
talking
to the
point.
convention.
Stop with the talking point.
Okay, all right,
okay?
all right.
Now, the fact is, Obama's Secretary of Interior said, Secretary of Energy, I'm sorry, said he wanted $5 a gallon of gas. When Obama was asked on the second debate, I believe, or the first debate, on the second debate, rather, it was an audience question on the $5 of gas, he did not dispute his Secretary of Energy's assertion of wanting $5 a gallon.
I never heard
They
that.
have put in place policies that have tightened supplies, which have driven up the cost of petroleum. It is purely it's purely an economic issue. The fact is this, and I'm trying to answer Darren why I believe what I believe with Obama, with Romney, with New York, that Obama will take all those groups, but at a lesser margin. than he took in 2008. When you lower the margin of the votes,
So
now either
turnout.
Right. When you lower the margin, there are going to be women now that are going to vote for Romney because they want jobs. They want to be able to feed their kids.
Oh, if he's
going to have,
But there are women
if he
who
can
aren't
get
gonna
them
vote for
out
him
of a
because they have
phone,
yeah, but
reproductive
they're
rights.
in the 45% I've already given Obama. I've given him 45%.
it's 47% Mr. Romney
gets
gave him. And so
45%
we
when the
only need
numbers are
4
in.
more percent to
No.
beat Mr. Romney.
47%.
No,
He
because-
did.
because
he did.
Ron-
He said it to his private
No,
group
I'm
of
trying-
rich millionaires that paid $50,000.
Actually, he said a lot more there, but that's because.
He did give us 47%
But the pre-
as a
hey,
base
let-
vote.
let's
But
talk-
what he said wasn't factually was not
you know,
was factually correct.
Going
It
back
was
to the gas
incorrect.
thing, this administration also, for the first time, something that the last administration was unwilling to do, forced car manufacturers to raise emission standards.
Yeah.
So now you're going to get 50 miles per
We
gallon.
talked about this
So
in
if you're
my car.
using half the amount of gas to go the same distance, you're actually cutting the
That
gas prices
argument,
in half.
that argument says then that you're willing to accept $4 a gallon as the new normal.
No, we're not.
Because you're saying, well, we're going to have cars that use half the gas, so people aren't going to care about paying $4 because they're going to be. Except now you get a family of 4.
No, I think
you get
that-
a family of 4. That
I think
means
you have to put everything on the table, which means lowering gas prices, but it also means using
Every
less
time
gas,
they make
less
those-
dependency
every
on
time
fossil
they make
fuels,
those cars
less
more-
money to Saudi
Mr.
Arabia, less money
Mr.
to the hands of
Bazzo.
terrorist nations. I mean, it's
Mr.
a good thing when we
Bazzo,
use less gas.
Your business is involved with gas.
That's right.
Aren't we going towards electric cars? And
no. Actually, the
Priuses?
electric car battery manufacturer went bankrupt. That was
Yeah,
in the
but-
news last
Would
week.
you get an
But we
electric car?
haven't stopped.
No.
I would.
No.
I would.
Well, that's
Oh, you want to keep buying that gas and be like the rich
Yeah, but where are you
Republicans
gonna-
and drive
where are you
oil
gonna
prices
get the
up?
battery for that electric car because the manufacturer just went bankrupt?
Well, they have other
No,
manufacturers.
the manufacturer
No.
of that battery
But I
went
want,
bankrupt.
Mr. Bazzo, I want to talk to you about something else. Mr. Romney and the amount of money he wants to spend on the military. And by the way, Mr. Romney or his 5 sons never served in the military. He was over,
Neither did
wait,
I.
let me finish.
Neither did I.
He was over in France getting people into the Mormon church while I was in Vietnam almost getting
Well,
killed.
that's because
my
you weren't a
friend.
Mormon.
Right. And my father wasn't rich enough
But
to
the
put
fact
me
is,
there.
the fact is,
And he wants to
you
spend-
had a lot of conscientious objectives in those days
Well, I
that went
wasn't.
into other forms.
But let's
to
talk
serve
about
their country.
the
Peace
military
Corps,
record.
The Peace Corps.
Mr. Bazzo.
Romney went into missionary work.
Mr. Ba-
Cassius
yeah,
Clay,
and his
before he
5
became
sons.
Muhammad Ali,
Well, he
was a
wasn't-
conscientious
Well,
objector.
he wasn't right either, my friend.
What I'm-
You're supposed to defend that American flag, and if you want to be the
I'm not
commander in
saying
chief,
it's right. I'm
like
saying
Mr.
there were
Obama
options
has
available.
been. Mr.
I remember
Bazzo,
I grew
you didn't
up
let
during,
me finish.
I grew up during Vietnam, and a number of the kids I went to school with chose college to get
Yeah.
that deferment,
Yeah.
so they did not have to go and
Do you
fight.
know none of his 5 sons served either? And let's talk about his vice president. You know, 7 bills have come up for military benefits in Congress, and he voted no every time. Is that how they're going to cut the budget, Mr. Bazzo? And I'm a Republican, and I'm ashamed of this ticket.
And I will tell you again, when the majority of people
Yes.
go in to vote on Tuesday,
Well, that's your opinion.
that's what I get paid the big bucks for,
Do you
too.
do any kind
The
of an
fact
analysis?
is,
You gave an opinion, right?
And I
on
said,
what,
I
how the-
said why, because I believe the overriding thing that's going to drive the votes is the economy. You can have
It's picking up.
everything. It is not picking up.
It isn't.
No, New York
We're
State
adding jobs.
No, we're not adding jobs. People are
The
looking for
unemployment rate's going
for every
down.
job. And this came out this week also by the Congressional Budget Office.
Mm-hmm.
For every job that has been created,
Yeah.
10 are lost to 10 people go on unemployment. Really? That's why New York State has a higher unemployment now than they did last year. And they're the only state in the union to have a higher unemployment. Now, that's why
Was
I believe
it
Greg
caused
Ball is
by
in
the
trouble.
Bush tax cuts, but
No.
the Bush tax
They're not
cuts.
Bush tax cuts.
Yes, they
No.
are.
Shh. They have been in place since 2001. This 11 years now. So they are now called the present tax rates. You use Bush tax cuts to
And are they going to
form
hold, after the
get
election,
people-
are they going to hold Congress hostage and put the Republican Congress now and put a tax increase on everyone because they're dedicated to keeping the top 1%
Let
from
me
getting
ask you
a
both
raise?
a question, and I'm going to throw this out, and you're both going to answer this.
Okay.
How does punishing rich people help you?
It's not punishing rich
Sure it is.
people. It's just getting them to pay
I
their
asked-
fair
I
share
asked you
like
a
they did in
question.
the past.
To take money,
Mr.
to take money away from the people that create jobs
Mis-
and invest in the market
You
that
mean that
also
people who
create jobs.
send companies to China, India, Russia,
You mean,
after
you
they
mean like
bought
GE?
them?
You mean like who's
I don't think.
I like what happened the
Apple.
other day.
I mean, obviously-
Mr.
But let
Obama.
that-
I
let-
mean,
let-
obviously,
let
it's a
Darren
loaded
answer
question,
now.
right? It's a loaded question
That's
to
a
say
loaded
how is
question.
punishing the wealthy.
How does it help you?
How about just making it fair? How about just
Yes.
evening
Okay,
it?
let me
How
pay-
is it
they
fair?
pay
'Cause
their
I
How
have-
is it fair
share.
that Mitt Romney paid an effective 15% tax rate when the
for-
rest of us are paying 35,
Actually, he
40%?
didn't pay a 15% tax.
How
The
is it that people living off of dividends or investments from the stock market are paying less than their secretaries
Wait
that
a
work
sec,
for them?
because that
we
is-
just want equity. That's all we want.
So,
is
in other
fair.
words, you want to raise the capital gains tax. Because remember, that
why
money,
not?
because the money
I don't-
that
I
they
don't get any
used in
capital
those
gains.
investments
We need tax
had
reform.
already been
We need
taxed once at the
Let me
high
ask
rate.
you
We need
one
tax
question.
reforms. We need to stop loop. We're a
Mr.
small
Bazzo.
business. If a small business wants to compete with a bigger business, like someone
Mr. Bazzo.
wants to compete with Nike or Home Depot, we have to stop things like tax loopholes that allow them to have tax
So you're-
incentives
so-
to close down factories in America and open them up in China.
So you're looking
which
for
is one of the things
you-
that
what you're looking
President
for-
Obama says he
what
wants
you're
to stop
looking
that.
for is equal outcome.
No, not looking for equal
Sure
outcome.
you are.
We're looking for if I'm gonna compete against you, we should compete fairly.
That's not true.
We should have the same rules to
I
apply to big
have,
companies
I
as small
have
companies.
2 taxis. Rio has 20. How can I compete against Rio?
That's not what we're talking about.
You are.
We're-
I'm
no.
a small businessman wanting to compete against the big guy. How do I compete
we're
against
talking
Rio?
about rules that are out there that could be reformed to make it easier for small businesses to compete against very large multinational corporations that are being encouraged to close factories in America and open them up in China.
Actually, they are encouraged to open them up in other countries because the cost of labor is prohibitively high.
And it's wrong and it's a mistake. And it's something
You
that has
know
to be
what
fixed
was
in our tax
interesting
code.
the other
No, it's
day,
not the
Mr.
tax code that
Bazzo?
makes the cost of labor prohibitively high. It's the
We give them
contract.
tax incentives.
So
to
you
do it.
believe in the trickle-down theory then?
Well,
But the money never
okay, let's try the
trickles down.
let's try the trickle up theory. How many poor people create jobs?
Well,
Let's try that trickle
How
up
can
theory.
you create jobs if you don't have money?
That's right. That's why you had the trickle down theory.
Yeah, but
because only people
But
with money.
Mr. Romney
create
is
jobs.
trickling his money out of the
That's not
country.
true,
And
actually.
let me ask you this: his father, George Romney, who was the head of American Motors, and do you ever hear of American Motors anymore?
Rainbow is a lousy
For
car.
10 years, when he ran, showed his income tax returns. Now, I ask you, Mr. Bazzo, if you were running for president, would you be afraid to show your income tax returns?
Nothing to do with being afraid. I don't even show my other half my tax returns.
You have another half?
I don't believe. I believe
didn't
my
know that.
tax returns.
I'd like to see your internet history.
My tax returns are my business. They're nobody
Not
else's
when you're
business.
running for president of the United
Where's the law?
States. If
Where-
you-
where is the law on that?
If you
That's
want to
also- that's also
represent
involuntary,
Darren,
if I'm
me,
correct.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the rest of
absolutely.
the-
It's done
Because you
voluntarily.
can't force somebody to turn over their private
No,
information.
and inevitably in these elections, different things come up. Things like some people want to show health documents
Right.
to show us are you healthy enough to be president? All sorts of different.
But
things
that's
bubble
all
up.
voluntary.
It is all
Well,
voluntary.
then the
No
people
one
have to
compels it, but the
decide.
people have to
Do
judge
we
and
vote for a
decide
man-
based on
Darren,
what you're showing
do
or
not
hiding.
have a right to know my
Yeah,
private
if
life.
you're running
Anybody's
for
private
president
life.
of the
No,
United
When
States,
you make that
yes,
decision,
they do.
no, but George
Yes,
is right.
they do.
When you make that decision to show or not show, people have the right to decide
Yeah.
whether they think you're hiding something or not.
That's only because you're going to the idiot vote where everybody's a conspiracist.
I want to get back because you said something that's really true. This election, George, might really be about turnout. It might really be.
Oh, yeah. I believe it's going to be
Even
very
if
close.
the Democrats have many more physical people willing to vote for them than the Republicans, if they have the turnout, we lose the election. So that's why groups now have to go out there and encourage
Now,
their supporters.
We got
to
5
to polls.
minutes. I want to get away from the national because I
Okay.
want to get to the state senate. Greg Ball, Justin
Let
Wagner.
me reply to that. You know why Greg Ball will win this election?
Go ahead.
Because he goes to the other side of the aisle and works with Governor Cuomo and gets things done up in Albany.
I saw him at a forum the other day. He mentioned Cuomo like 17 times.
Yes, I didn't hear him mention Romney once.
And yet I've never heard
not
Cuomo
his
mention
race.
Greg Ball. I don't think they're as close as Greg Ball wants
Really?
people to think they are. Andrew Cuomo's not supporting Greg Ball. He's never posed for a photo with Greg Ball. You've never seen them together in a room together.
Cuomo supporting Justin Wagner?
Well, the fact is, Greg Ball, what's having him in trouble is he's now trying to be something that he just has not been. So he's trying to say that he was a moderate, that he's works well with Democrats, but he spent the last 10 years being anti-gay, anti-immigrant, pro-gun.
Right.
When Darren ran for Congress.
He ran for Congress?
I did, yes.
And I ran for mayor.
Well, it was really more like I really walked. It was
As
like
a
a walk.
Democrat.
But
wasn't-
when Darren ran for Congress was Greg Ball's first race.
When he ran for
primaried-
state assembly.
And we had money bet on this.
Yeah.
It was $1, but we had money bet on. So because Darren and I have followed Greg Ball's career from the
Greg this
beginning.
year he won an award for being the single most conservative member of the New York State Senate.
Really?
Was given the award for it, was announced, the single most. Now that should be a member somewhere by the Canadian border, not representing the Hudson Valley, not
But
representing
Mr.
Peekskill.
Wagner has been invisible. I don't see him on television. I don't see him in ads.
Well, then you don't read the Bazzo Manifesto. I've had
no, I
his
don't
television stuff on my blog all the time.
Well,
every
I don't
day.
blog.
I think
I'm
Greg has been
old-fashioned.
too conservative and out of step for this area for too long to try to change positions
See,
now
I
in the
came
last
from
couple of weeks of the
position- now,
campaign.
Remember, I championed Greg in every election but this one.
Now we have a bet in this election
Right.
too.
But I
lost that bet, by the way, because I thought Greg Ball wasn't going to win. I thought he was too
I
conservative.
think he'll win over.
But-
I thought Will Stevens was going to win. It was a
But-
primary, and I lost the bet. But
And Nita Lowy will be a big
But what
winner.
I,
I
look
have
at-
a bet on
what
this
I-
one.
But what I look at is that I championed Greg for the last time, except for this one, because he has now betrayed his.
are we allowed to gamble?
Yes.
I also-
his conservative base. I asked Darren this question 6 months ago when I wrote my open letter to Greg Ball about what does it gain a man to court Democrat votes and lose conservatives in the process. Will Greg Ball, which his game plan apparently is to blur the lines between Republican and Democrat. One second, George, then you can have a word on this. Will Greg Ball be able to get enough Democrat votes to offset the conservatives he's offended?
You know what? I think he will get enough people votes of all parties because with his constituent services, he's out there helping people.
And I'm asking Darren because you,
Okay, go ahead, Darren.
you went for how many years has Greg Ball been painted as the guy with the horn and the tails?
Well,
are Democrat voters going to say, "Oh, where'd the horn and the tails go?" Or are they going to still remember this?
I don't think so, especially in a year when Obama's on the ballot. I think that he does things
That could help him.
like he'll
That could help.
go to an African American church and he'll hold like a free barbecue. And then when it's over, everyone says, "Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you for the free barbecue. It was really nice meeting you." I don't think that's going to translate to votes. I don't think that these people are going to walk in, vote for Obama, vote for Kirsten Gillibrand, and then all of a sudden say, "Oh, I'm going to go vote for the single most conservative Republican state senator in New York State and vote for Greg Ball." I don't think it'll work. I think it's he tried a trick. I don't think it's going to work.
Okay, everybody, George, Darren, thank you. They're going to be my guests
and
next
see
week.
you.
They're not going anywhere.
and wait up.
Please, this is what I say. What say you?
And Nita Lowy and Sandy Galiff will be big winners too, although I'm a Republican.
They may not hear this. I don't know if they're hearing anything.
I want you to be my baby. Will you?
Will you?
Will you please?
Will you please?
Oh, will you please tell?
Will you please tell?
Will you please tell me?
What?
Are you gonna be my baby?